Everybody set? The Hennepin County Attorney's Office today announces two different second-degree murder charges. The first against Jerry Arnold Westrom for a crime committed back in 1993. Mr. Westrom brutally and cruelly killed a woman in her apartment. This is a cold hit case. This was put together by extensive use of DNA, including the DNA that is similar, process that is similar to the Golden State case, which was a Golden State killer, in which DNA samples were sent to genealogists who helped us match them together. This was good police work to pass this kind of technique on between cops. And in order to tie everything to Mr. Westrom, they got a DNA sample when he was at a hockey game, used a napkin, threw it away, and they got enough DNA off of the napkin. Mr. Westrom is in custody. There's investigation is still going on. We're quite confident that he is the person, or we would not have charged it. And the DNA shows that only he and the victim are found in the blood samples, and that 99.99% of other individuals have been excluded. Well, there were a number of blood samples taken in that particular case, and Mr. Westrom's blood is found on a number of different articles that were in the apartment, including the comforter, a towel, a footprint, and a number of other things. As I understand it, the other male that was found in one of the samples was not found in the other samples. So again, there's additional Y chromosome testing being done now, but we felt we had more than enough to charge, and we have done so. Well, you know, when you discard things in the trash, the Supreme Court has often said it's fair game. And so he discarded the napkin in a container and threw it in the trash so they could get it. There's a number of Supreme Court cases that talk about somebody going into somebody's trash can behind their house. If you discard something, it's free game. What's amazing about DNA, which is great for this whole system, you can get it out of the back of your collar. You can get it off the back of a cigarette butt or a Coke can. And by the way, for people who say, isn't this awful, we're invading privacy? We use DNA all the time to prove that the person didn't do it. Because if we don't have a match, we don't have a case. What this has done is make identification that much better. And even our friends in the Public Defender's Office acknowledge if the DNA is properly taken and properly tested, the science is extremely good. In fact, the only time we have problems is identical twins, because they're the only ones who have exactly the same DNA. That's pretty speculative, Paul. I really kind of don't want to go there. He was picked up not because hockey or a previous prostitution charge and conviction, but because his DNA matched. That's what got going, and then we got the rest of the record.
This is a huge swing.
Well, it's interesting because in the last paragraph of the complaint, after he agreed to talk with investigators, he said, never been at the apartment complex. I've never been in the apartment. I don't know who this person is, and I didn't have sex with her. Well, then why is his DNA all over the place? And his credibility obviously would be attacked upon that. There must be why your colleagues consider you a great reporter, because you're putting a lot of things together. Our focus is more limited. You know, we have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt based on the facts we can prove in court. Sometimes speculation about why the person did it, or why here, or why then, is of great interest, but it's not key to us, because our job is to pull together the facts to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. But it's a great question. Anybody else?
What led investigators to him at this time?
Well, they were following him, which you can legitimately do. To my knowledge, there was nothing wrong with the surveillance that was done, and they happened to watch him go have a hot dog. And they know, as now you know, that DNA can be easily obtained from almost anything. And saliva is one of the principal ways you obtain DNA. And it's kind of ingenious that they thought about that and watched it, but I'm sure the defense attorney will try to challenge the surveillance, but as best I can tell from everything we talked to, it was totally legit within the confines of the law, and we're going to use it.
Mike, was this a little bit on that?
Yes, I mean, it was a genealogy company that you see advertised on TV. He apparently had sent his DNA at some time. We sent them his DNA that we got at the crime scene. We had it, but DNA hadn't gone this far in 1993 when the crime was committed. And we asked for a match, and they come up with a number of things, and then there's more investigation that needs to be done. And as one of your colleagues pointed out, there were 2 suspects, but only Mr. Westrom matched on numbers of different samples taken from the place. That's why he's the person we believe done it.
Would it be fair to say then the 4 19A samples?
That's correct. I mean, we had the blood samples. We take them and keep them, and there's no statute of limitation on homicides. They go on forever. And so periodically, investigators go back and look at the cold hit cases. We all learned quite a bit from the Golden State Killer. And I happen to know the DA in Ventura County, Greg Totten, well, and we've talked about this case. And I said, you know, I bet you we got some cases back home we could use this on. Well, we just found one.